Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds, by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
Ted.
It's time for us to venture back into Middle Earth. This time we're going to be discussing backgrounds.
If you want to jump down to the description below, you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So we've been, week after week here, we've been breaking down the Middle Earth Player's Guide. We've done intros and races. We've done character classes. We've done the virtues, also known as feats in 5th edition, Dungeons & Dragons. Now we're on to backgrounds.
So little by little, we chip away at this mighty tome of information here.
Well, I believe we're more than halfway through now.
So the great thing about the backgrounds is in the 5th edition Player's Handbook, it very much is like, this is a job. This is something that you go do as a more of a career type thing for most of them. But here, it's more concepts. So you can be able to say, I do anything, but this is who I am and how it links to the actual adventuring.
Yeah, the way 5th edition backgrounds work is this was your profession before you became an adventurer, while the backgrounds in Middle Earth, I basically consider them themes.
Yeah.
This is the theme of your character. And so that being said, they don't give you as much as the backgrounds from 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons did. One, they don't give you any gear. Two, for the most part, they don't give you the extra non-proficiency skills. Mm-hmm. You only get the proficiency skills.
Right.
So you don't get languages or tool proficiencies, things like that generally, unless it's like replacing one of the skills.
Generally, with the 5th edition stuff, you would get a total of 4 things.
Yes.
It's usually 2 skills, a tool, and a language, or 2 languages or 2 tools. So it was like a block of 4. In here, because there's not as many languages, the tools don't have a drastic use throughout core concept of these rules. They're like, you know what, we're just going to strip these things out. I don't care if you can play a musical instrument or not.
I find that the features in here, some of them are far more ambiguous than the ones in the Player's Handbook. Like even you were telling me when you're reading through, I had to really think about what they were saying and what it actually meant.
When I was reading through, at least on one of them, if not multiple, I read it and I'm like, I finished it and I'm like, I don't remember reading what you actually got as having this background.
I did that same thing as well. So basically, there's a bunch of them in here, and there's things like the loyal servant,
doomed to die, which I thought that one was the most standout-ish to me, because it's like, all right, yes, everyone is fated to die eventually. You're not immortal, but this one, it's like you're doomed to die. You know that at some point
you're going to die in a bad way.
And you're going to die in a bad way. Yeah. So, like, if you work with the DM on something like that, you can really make a nice scene come out. But that's the one that stood out to me.
Then there's things like Magician,
like,
Mighty Oath,
Magician,
or Oath Sworn.
Magician was kind of funny because it's not the way it implies. You're a stage magician. You're into sleight of hand and theatrics, not actually casting spells. You've got Driven from Home,
Fallen Scion,
Emissary of
that actually people. Scion.
Scion, yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, I can't talk.
The Harrowed, Hunted by the Shadow, and that comes into play with the actual theme or setting of Lord of the Rings. You have got the good people of Middle Earth and the agents of the dark or the shadow, and that's kind of what you're up against. So if you're hunted by the shadow, it's almost kind of like similar to fated or doomed to die, because literally the agents of the darkness are out there looking for you. So.
Yeah, but at least it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to get you.
That's
so
true.
The other thing worth mentioning here is the distinctive quality, the specialties, the hope, and the despair.
These kind of fall into your ideals, traits, bonds, and flaws, and there's serious overlap, and you thought that one of them doesn't really, completely fit. So, like, your distinctive quality, that's your trait. your hope is your bond, the despair is your flaw, but you didn't feel that.
Well, your personality. The first one is your personality, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, well, it's not that I didn't feel that it fit, but I thought it was something else at first. To be honest with you, the specialty, I thought that was all the backgrounds of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, right? You have your overarching background, but then it also had like more specifically what you did for that, like
that further D8, if you will.
Yeah. If if you're a soldier, well, what was your job as a soldier? If you're a performer or entertainer, what was your specialties as an entertainer?
Were you an acrobat? Were you a juggler? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I think a lot of them have that.
And here that doesn't exist because these aren't
jobs.
Themes. They're more themes. It's interesting. So maybe the specialty is lumped into those.
Well, it is kind of like that, but it's also worth noting, right? Depending on what your specialty is, and there's a lot of overlap between the different ones. I'm just looking at one, and I think this is Loyal Servant, Beast Lore, Enemy Lore, Gardener, Minstrelsy, which is playing instruments, I guess, Region Lore, Smoking. So the interesting thing is these specialties also do something else for you. If you ever do anything in the game and you can justify that your specialty correlates or interacts with that skill that you're using, you can use your proficiency bonus. If you're very proficient in that skill that you're using, you can then use double your proficiency bonus. It's a twofold benefit, but right. It's very specific, and it literally is when you can justify it and the DM agrees with you.
So you've got Lore of the Road, has fire making, says you can make a camp anywhere. That's going to be very helpful for adventure.
For your special feature.
Yeah, for the special features. So you've got Herb Lore, Leechcraft, Minstrelsy, Storytelling, and Trading, and each of them comes with a little thing, and all of the backgrounds have that little breakdown, which give you that little extra nudge, if you will.
Yeah, so these cannot really be transported into your 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game. These are specifically for playing Middle Earth. So and that's what you would use for. And I've also seen in the comments where some of you guys are like, "Well, you're not doing this review right because you keep comparing it to 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons." But I understand as a YouTube creator, but as a dungeon master, that people that see these reviews are going to want to know. Some of them are going to want to play Middle Earth. Some of them don't give a flying fig about Middle Earth, and they want to go, well, can I steal this stuff for my D&D game? So we as Nerdarchy have been trying to give you both sides of the coin, and comparing it to itself, but also to 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, so you guys can make the best decision that you can make. These don't cross over into your regular D&D game that well without you tweaking them.
Correct. Now, you could steal a concept and say, look, can I use this concept? And it best fits with this background. Okay, sure, that kind of works. For this game, I like what's here. As I was reading it, I was trying to correlate to the
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, to the Companions
the company,
of the Hall. I'm like, all right, who was this and who was that? And there's sometimes I'm like, all right, well, I pegged this guy in here, but he also fits here. What do I do?
Yeah, like, and through the different ones too. Like even Thorin Oakenshield is the fallen Scion. Brahmamir is clearly doomed to die, and Sam is
the loyal
servant. Yeah. So,
but there was another one that I thought Sam fit on as well. So I was like, I don't know.
No, there's no question about it. He's got to be the loyal servant.
Yes, but I mean,
they literally use his quote. Oh, and that's the other cool thing. Like each of these comes with a quote from the books as well.
Yes.
So they really do a good job of really sprinkling out through all the flavor from the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit book and movies back into this game. They've done an excellent job with that.
Absolutely, and it definitely adds to the enjoyment, the overall enjoyment of reading it and going through. So, have you had a chance to get into this book yet? Have you checked out the backgrounds? Do you agree, disagree? Put your thoughts and comments down below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Check us out at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.